Hello, my lovely ladies, and welcome to another edition of Menopause Made Easy with Tanya, the space where we gather to talk about real, raw, and sometimes radiant experiences of menopause. And I'm your host, Tanya Willis. I have been in the wellness, fitness, health space for over 3 decades. Personal trainer, I teach fitness, all sorts of fitness. I do nutritional coaching, behavior change. And I love showing up here each week and inspiring and empowering you with information that I teach, that I teach and I love sharing. And if you want to go deeper, by all means, please reach out to me. If you're not doing the work, you need some support, I am here for you. So please reach out. So today I want to talk about something that touches every one of us going through this journey. We're going to talk about the butterfly within us, the transition, the resistance, and the wisdom of change. And I know that, there's many times in my life where I've gone through change, from to getting married, well, going through puberty, getting married, having children, and then, there's so much change in our life. And this biggest one lately has been this menopausal shift. So a lot of times when we first go through this change, we can feel resistance when we are asked to change. And when we go through menopause, we're not actually being asked to change. We're just changing regardless. All right. So I want to talk today about change, resistance to change, and coming out the other side. But we're not going to talk about medical terms or in a mechanical today. Today I really wanted to lean into the metaphor and the myth, into the beauty, into the wisdom, and was deeply inspired and moved by the poetic words of Michael Meade in his Living Myth podcast, especially episode number 357, which is called The Wisdom of the Butterfly. It's beautiful to listen to. I've listened to it a few times now. And I want to borrow from him some of the language that he uses, not to just explain the menopausal transition, but to give it meaning. Because menopause isn't just a phase, it's a metamorphosis. We are becoming different in our entity and our beings. All right, so Michael Meade speaks of the butterfly, and again, his words are beautiful. And he talks about how it begins its life as a caterpillar. Yes, we all know that, right? Focused only on consuming and growing. So munching all the leaves, getting bigger. And then one day, poof, that life ends. Okay, not with a death, but with a transformation. And the caterpillar enters the cocoon, and everything it was begins to dissolve. And what's left is a kind of chaos. Okay. And these cells, called imaginal cells, appear. And these cells hold the blueprint of the butterfly. Okay. So sometimes when you feel like you're going through menopause, perimenopause, you're stuck in this cocoon and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on with me? All right. So I want you to pause and just take that caterpillar munching on the leaves. Okay. Take that caterpillar and realize that it must dissolve for the beauty of the butterfly to emerge. All right. To be born, to emerge from the cocoon. And menopause is our cocoon. Okay. It's that time of perhaps struggle, of transition, of resistance. And it's where everything we've known, like our identities, our roles, our rhythms, and even our biology begins to shift. And it can feel like, yes, that we're falling apart. It can feel, again, everybody's on a spectrum. You may just breathe through it, nothing, no big deal. On the other hand, it might be debilitating. And then for many of us, it may fall away in the middle. Okay, or fall in the middle. But I will say that we're all going through some sort of change. And then there's resistance. You may have that resistance, okay? And that's that part of us that says, I don't want to change. I don't want to lose control. I don't want to age, right? And lean into that. Just listen. Do you feel those things? But what if that falling apart, right, isn't failure or to be taken negatively, but rather it's our transformation, right? And so we want to transform into this beautiful butterfly. So notice where resistance is showing up. And it can show up in many ways during menopause, right? So it can be the sleepless nights where we stare at the ceiling, wondering what's happening to our body, or we're laying on wet sheets, or we have to go change our pajamas because we've got some heavy duty night sweats. Okay, it could be the mood swings that are unfamiliar to us and maybe sometimes overwhelming. It's also the cultural narrative that says you're no longer relevant, right? So maybe you're hearing messages about the fact that you're aging and you don't feel relevant anymore. And I mean, these can make us feel not great, okay? And so we might be putting up resistance to see how can we move through this. But Michael Meade in his podcast reminds us that real transformation is initiatory, right? And it strips away what is no longer essential. So the cocoon doesn't ask the caterpillar's permission, it simply begins. So we cannot resist estrogen leaving, progesterone leaving. And then if you listen to last week's episode, which was fabulous about how estrogen affects, I went over 5 or 6 neurotransmitters and how those messages are not being heard the same way that they used to be, you really get a much deeper understanding that this is not something that's in your control. This is happening. All right. And so the process is beginning on its timeline, not when we say it's going to happen. And so menopause initiates us and it says, let go of who you were. Oh, gosh, let that sink in for a minute. Let go of who you were. Okay. And there's definitely some shifts. I'm actually really excited about this phase of my life, to be honest with you. I feel more wisdom. I said to my husband and some friends of mine the other day, I said, there's one thing I know for sure. I know this for absolute sure that I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I mean, I know a lot of things, but then I go down another layer and down another layer, and there's so much to know and to experience and just to be so wise, right? And I think of my 20-year-old self thinking I knew everything, and now I can tell you I don't know everything, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so we want to make space for who we are becoming. So be excited. I really am super excited for this role in my life, this new adventure of menopause. So let go of who we were, what's no longer serving us, and make space for who we are becoming. And that's not easy. And I definitely had some resistance. I definitely did. All right. And at times I still do. Like we don't honor a lot of this aging culture with how our bodies are changing. All right. So, but inside that resistance is a hidden wisdom. And I really do feel much wiser. I can't even imagine what I'm going to feel like at 75 and 85. My goodness. Okay. So Meade calls this the wisdom of the wound, and the idea that what breaks us down also opens us up. So instead of resisting menopause, what if we honored it as a sacred passage, which I really feel. Now, I have to be honest, in my 40s, I was a mess. I really was a mess. I had younger children. There was a lot of stresses. I was working too much. I was getting that busy badge. My hormones were changing. I had zero education about what was happening to my body because nobody was talking about it. And so I really believe that this is a gift to everyone to really honor, learn, be empowered about your body because it really looks back and you go, oh gosh, no wonder I was like that and it wasn't my fault. And had I known differently, but at least give myself grace and compassion for what I did go through. So wherever you are on your journey, just learn about it and it really does help and just lean into it. So remember those imaginal cells that I mentioned earlier? Okay, they're not just poetic a metaphor. It's just not a poetic metaphor. They're real and they carry the future form of the butterfly inside the mush of the cocoon. Okay, but here's the beautiful thing. At first, these cells are attacked by the caterpillar's immune system, and they're seen as foreign and threatening. And maybe that echoes some of our transitions that we've been going to. I definitely felt, like I was heading into foreign territory. I definitely felt threatened. My ego, I've done so much work on my ego. My ego felt threatened. And I felt like I was in the dark a lot of the times because I really didn't understand what was happening to my hormones and how that was translating into my day-to-day experiences. All right. So that emerging part of us, this wise woman, this intuitive one, the self who no longer plays by everyone else's rules. So you may find that you're not following the rules like you used to. Okay. Those parts can feel threatening to our old identity of stepping into this new freedom, this new wise woman, this new woman that is feeling into our body and tapping into our intuition, which I have to tell you is one of the biggest gifts we can give ourselves, is to stop focusing on outward stuff and really do the inner work, which is what we do a lot in the midlife reboot program that I do with my group coaching and individual coaching. Okay. So over time, though, these imaginal cells, they multiply, okay, and they connect, and then they form something new and something winged, which is the butterfly. And in regards to us, we are becoming into this menopause. Okay, this going through this adventure and coming out the side of postmenopause. And I'm not even a year postmenopausal, so I don't even know what else is coming. Okay, I can only hope that it's just going to get better and better and better, right? And so there's something new, something wise, something winged, right? And I will tell you, I'm going to pause here for a moment, something I know that has absolutely helped my skin and my beauty and my radiation and my energy is to ditch your toxic skincare, hair care, and teeth products. And one company I have been using for years is Vibrant Living with Tanya. Or no, sorry, is Living Libations. Okay, so I was thinking of the URL in my head is Living Libations. Nadine was on my podcast. I love her products. I use sea buckthorn oil. I use her rose oil. I use the shampoo, the conditioner, the face brush, the dry brush. I use her teeth products. I use the hair brush. Did I say shampoo and conditioner already? I mean, I use her mascara. So there's lots of products that I use. If you want any recommendations, please let me know. And if you would go to livinglibations.com/vibrant living to explore their beautiful offerings, that would be fantastic. So that is one thing. I've bet you it's been 20 years I've been using her products, and I get told all the time, like, oh my God, you smell so good. And they're fragrance free. It's just the beauty, the purity of her products. And my skin radiates. I just feel so great not having toxic products in my body and on my skin. So check out livinglibations.com/vibrant living. I get a little bit of a kickback when you buy something. So I appreciate checking them out and exploring what they have. And like I said, ask me about any of their products. I've basically used all of them. Okay, so how do we embrace this new self, this new wise woman that we are stepping into? And what happens when we just stop resisting, when we just let go, when we allow ourselves to be in the cocoon, even when it's messy and uncertain and hard? And I don't know, maybe I'm still in the cocoon. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of the cocoon. Maybe in menopause you dip in and out. I don't know. Maybe perimenopause is the cocoon. So you can kind of decide. I definitely feel like I've come out of the cocoon a bit. I definitely feel a lot more stable than I did when my hormones were all over the place. So, and I definitely hear a different voice, a voice of my deeper self, wiser self. the one that is saying, I don't need to prove anything anymore. I definitely have transitioned over to that. I cannot tell you, I've done a lot of work on my ego. Um, so I don't need to prove anything anymore, or maybe a lot less. Let's just put it at that. But maybe I'm moving that way. Okay. You are not your productivity. Oh, yes, I have definitely changed this one. Not saying that I'm sitting on the couch picking my nose all day long, but I have definitely leaned in to not pushing. I'm not pushing. I am allowing. And for those of you that that makes sense to, that's great. It's been a huge transition for me. Huge. I used to be so type A, it was insane. So I have let go of productivity, not fully, but definitely slowed down, look at things a lot differently now. And I can tell I'm going to go even deeper into that, and that I am enough. I am enough, just as I am, just in this moment. I am enough. I don't need to do anything to improve, or sorry, not improve, but have somebody tell me that I'm not enough. I don't know, a light bulb hit me. It's probably 4 years ago, and I was just like, I'm enough. I'm tired of playing the I'm not enough game. I am enough. I am enough just being here like so. All right. So maybe you have felt those things, those transitions happening. So this is the wisdom of menopause. It's not just hormonal, right? It's it's almost mythic, mystical, and exciting, and an absolute pleasure that I get to experience it. Because think of people whose lives have been cut short, that have not been able to be blessed with going through this beauty of growing older. It's a gift. And by the grace of God, every day, I thank God for another day on this earth, and for the health that I am in, and for the things that I do to really work on my health, and for my listeners who listen to me, who I am like the pebble in your water. And what I am teaching and empowering you is rippling out. And I truly believe that we are lifting up the vibrational energy, the hope, the love, the empowerment, enlightenment, of this world. And I know that my role, I am doing what I am meant to be doing. I know that. All right. So as Michael Meade says in his book, the butterfly is an ancient symbol of the soul. And I am blessed to be able to have transformed from a caterpillar through that cocoon phase. And I'm coming out the other side as the most magnificent, vibrant, energetic, loving, caring, hopeful, passionate butterfly. Such vibrant colors I have. All right. So menopause is not the death of your vitality. It is the awakening of your soul. It is the awakening of your soul. Will you lean into what you are here for, what you are becoming? So today, if you feel like you're breaking down, remember you might just be breaking open. Okay, we might just be breaking over everybody. And if you feel resistance, which what does that feel like to you? What does resistance feel like? Okay. Know that it's part of the process, and just allow yourself to let go. I teach balance because it's one of the components of fitness I teach. And when I'm teaching balance, when I tell everybody to let go, they balance better. It's when you're rigid and you're trying to hold on that you're not giving in to the subtle shifts in your body. And when you just let go, it doesn't mean you're going to not touch your foot down to the floor, but it's different. And I see it every time I teach this. So let go of the resistance and lean in. Okay. And if you're not sure who you are anymore, because sometimes you're going through this shift and you're like, oh my God, who am I? Okay, just take heart because the butterfly doesn't know either. It just spreads its wings and it flies. Okay, so spread your wings and shine your beauty, everybody. All right, so thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for checking out livinglibations.com /vibrant living. Every little thing that you do helps because I do this for free. And so it's nice to have a little, something come my way sometimes. But even if it's your love, that's okay. I'm not pressuring anybody. I'm not a pressure person. I'm here when you need me, when you want me, and you're ready to take yourself to the next level. And that could just be better skincare, healthcare, and teeth care. Okay, so I thank you for spending time with me. I hope today's episode gave you a different lens to look through menopause with, to view your journey. And if you found this helpful, I invite you to share it with a friend, somebody in your family, leave a review that helps other people find me so that we can spread more love and energy and vibrancy out in the world. Or, give me a 5-star review would be very helpful. It's free and it's a lovely thing that you can do. And subscribe to my podcast would be great. And you can send me a message as well. So remember, you're not alone in this cocoon, everybody. You're not alone. You are becoming, you always were something beautiful. You're becoming something beautiful. You were beautiful before, but we're just learning how to spread our wings, everybody. So until next time, be gentle with yourself and trust the butterfly within you. Trust this process. All right, everybody. Big hugs. Love you. Mwah. See you in the next episode. Mwah.